Next question, and Nicole, you'll go first for this one. What is your vision for police reform in Watertown?
Well, I want to say, at the start, the public security is an absolute priority for me, and I think for all of us. And because of that reason, I believe in fully funding all of our public safety departments. That includes police, that includes fire, and that includes our public safety health officials who've worked so hard during this pandemic and to whom we are so grateful. With regard to police reform, I support the Massachusetts program, the laws that were recently passed, and we need to implement them. And we may need to add resources in order to be able to implement them properly. I don't know, that's yet to be seen. I also will say that I was very impressed when I first moved here by the wonderful and collaborative work that was done by Chief Lawn and a number of activists, some of whom I see in this crowd, but others as well, people in the community, in developing an immigration policy at a time when ICE was being used in the way that it was being used by the former president. I thought that was fantastic, and I would love to see more collaboration between any and all of our public health officials, but you asked about police, so I would say our police, and the community, who they are so bravely and courageously stepping forward to serve. The more we come together and talk about issues as a community, together on the same side, the better the outcomes will be.
I'm going to let Nicole respond to that, and then Mike, if you want to respond to her response.
So just to clarify the story that Mike told you, and by the way, I think this is actually a really great story. I saw published benchmarks based on publicly available information that showed that against the dozens of towns that are within plus or minus 10% of our size, we were spending roughly $2 million, 20% higher than average. 20% high or 20% low, when I see benchmarks, as a 35-year business executive who used to do that for a living, that gets my attention. That sends off alarm bells. There may be good reasons why we're off from center, but we need to know. And as I said, that's whether it's high or whether it's low. That's whether it's the police department or the rec department or any other department you care to name within the town. We need to look at those things. So I wrote a note, that's exactly right, to our town councilors. Here's what happened. One of our town councilors, who's here today, Councilor Piccirilli, responded, and we had a series of emails that went back and forth that were highly illuminating, very productive, very polite and respectful. And at the end of that, I was satisfied with the approximate level of spending. And in my mind, that issue was settled back in March. So I did raise my voice. I think every citizen, every resident of our town has the right and the responsibility to raise their voice and ask questions, make suggestions, whatever's required. We are here, the government is here to serve you. So I don't think people should be demonized for having asked a question. And I really laud, by the way, the response, because it was transparent, direct, efficient, and it helped me as a resident and taxpayer understand where we were.